All right, what we're going to do in this video is review the types of valuation approaches that we've talked about in class. In the previous video, we've derived from intertemporal utility function the general discount model that we've been using in finance since your introductory course, as well as the growth model that you've been using. Okay, so the discounted cash flow method is probably the most commonly used method for valuing securities by financial analysts. So we're going to include that as one of the three valuation approaches. The second most common is probably the comparables approach. Let me explain, or at least help you recall what the comparables approach is. What we're going to do is we're going to take the market value of a particular asset. You can think of this as a stock relative to the book value of a stock. Let's call that stock X. Okay, so this is the price to book ratio. Again, the book value of the stock might be the book value of per share, the book value of equity per share. It might be the earnings per share. So this could be the PE ratio, which is probably the most commonly used. It could be the price sales ratio. Okay, so this is the market value to book value for stock X is equal to the market value to book value for stock Y. Okay, I'm just going to do some algebra where I multiply both sides of that equation by the book value of stock X, and I can ascertain the price of stock X by multiplying the price to book ratio for stock Y by the book value of X. This is a quick back of the envelope way to calculate the price, or you can think of like maybe the theoretical price of a particular asset when you compare it to other similar assets. Okay, we spoke in class about finding the most comparable asset. Sometimes that doesn't mean finding one asset. We're not just going to look at Microsoft, call Microsoft stock X and Google stock Y, right? But we might look at a whole industry of comparables and take the average price to book ratio for the entire industry and use that as a relative benchmark for what the price of a particular stock should be. The last valuation approach that we're going to use is called the replacement cost method. We're actually not going to really talk about that, but the replacement cost method is basically going through the balance sheet and trying to replicate or replace all of the assets and all of the liabilities in market value terms. Okay, that does not sound like a fun thing to do, and because it doesn't sound fun, I'm not going to do it. All right. So anyway, we're going to focus primarily on the comparables approach and the discounted cash flow method, or the discounted cash flow approach. And what I'm going to do in the next videos is I've written a couple of problems that will help you maybe understand how to implement these approaches. And so we'll pick it up there next.